coming in.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having us.
So, Robbie, why don't you tell us a little bit about Natural Selection, what it's about?
Well, it's about a woman in Texas, kind of a barren, not kind of a barren. She can't have children. She's a housewife, Christian housewife, who's been married to the same guy for 25 years, and he gets a stroke, and she finds out he has an illegitimate son somewhere in Florida. So she goes to find the son and bring him back to her husband before he dies. And it's kind of the story of her and the son.
Right there.
Yeah.
Look at that mug. And it's a comedy. It's a dramedy. It's yeah, that's a bad word to us, but it's a funny little character movie. Definitely. It's not little. It's a big movie.
Yeah.
Did you shoot it in Texas at all, or?
Yeah, we shot it in Smithville, which is right outside of Austin, and it was amazing shooting there.
Yeah,
I would. Oh yeah, I would. We all loved it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
it's
really
nice.
enthusiastic.
No, I think what was great about Smithville is they have their own Smithville Film Commission, and they're eager to have independent films come to, or I think studio films as well, but they're eager to help out in any way that they can, and all of the community comes together, and whether they do extra work or they help out with locations or
Food.
Or food.
Food.
Like the
Yeah.
Tamble's so lovely.
Yeah, so in Smithville, it was like, it's also shooting in a small town. Any small town in Texas is going to be amazing because the whole crew has to come in, and we all sleep there, eat there.
Yeah,
you can't get out.
It's like film camp.
It's definitely like film camp.
It feels like meatballs. Like we kind of.
And Rachel, we're used to seeing you kind of the sarcastic comedy role. Of course, Hangover, big fan always. I think people probably quote your character in Hangover quite
Yes.
a bit.
Yes.
We always did on set.
Yes.
Not really.
Yes.
So talk about kind of your role in this movie, though.
Well, I play Linda White, who is, as Robbie said, a Christian conservative woman who is. Her whole life has basically been in this small town, and her husband has been her whole world, and she, through circumstances, her husband ends up in the hospital, and it's kind of his dying wish to, he says something about his children, and so I go off on a journey to find one of the children that he may have out anywhere in Texas, through various reasons. Or occurrences that I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
And it's really, Linda, she's really kind of finding herself. It's sort of like a coming-of-age story for a woman in her 40s.
Well, and this was kind of a different role for you to take on in a way as well. So talk about how you prepared for something like this.
Well, the thing is that it's more dramatic, but I think it's the preparation is really no different than I would do for a comedy. It's just, in a comedy, you don't necessarily have to access the emotions that you would for something this dramatic, and I think you just sort of play the truth of what's going on. But I certainly, I wasn't necessarily worried about timing so much, as opposed to playing the truth of the moment.
Yeah, being honest.
Honesty, yeah.
Yeah, but Matt, you're not very nice to her when you first meet her.
No, and which wasn't hard because I don't really like Rachael.
None of us do.
Yeah.
She seems tough to get
As
along
you
with.
can tell,
Yeah.
she's an awful person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was easy. And it was more of like having to build the chemistry with her that was difficult, But
No,
yeah.
it wasn't. For the first day, these two
We're making
had
fun of
great
Robbie.
chemistry.
And we're on
From the
same
first
team.
day, you two had chemistry.
Oh yeah.
Because the first scene we shot, people think it's one of the best in the movie. And it was the first scene we shot, and it, demanded. That's why we were so nervous about it. I was nervous about
He
it.
started out swinging
Yeah.
for the,
But
you know,
I
the
was
Raptors.
I was terrified. Because if you two didn't have chemistry, it was done.
It's going to be a long,
You didn't test
a
them
long
together
month.
before?
No, we didn't get a chance, no.
No, we just jumped into it.
Yeah. So, by the...
To be fair, I have chemistry with everyone.
Yeah, Rachel
I have
has chemistry with
you.
everyone.
So,
Rachel's... Yeah, you have chemistry with everyone.
Well,
I
so
mean-
Matt, talk about your character a little bit in the movie.
Raymond is kind of this weird convict guy that is a loner, and he wants to kind of just live alone, and he kind of finds this little secure little lifestyle of his with drugs and a little cave. We called it his cave, you know. It's like this spot that he goes to in his life to just stay away from people, and he likes it, and he's content. And
It's like a rotted out shack.
yeah,
It's nuts.
it's pretty bad. And Linda White comes as a total opposite character, comes and kind of disrupts that and pulls him out of his comfort zone. And it's really like just kind of a weird guy out in the real world, and he just does not belong.
Yeah. Well, and so Robbie, what gave you this idea for this movie?
Well, I'd always wanted to do a story kind of about a character like my mom or like housewives I knew growing up in Texas, because I'd never seen like a serious story about someone like that. But I never really had an emotional kind of window into that story, obviously, because I'm not a Texan housewife. But that's a surprise to you? Rachel's always thought I'm a Texan housewife.
Yeah.
I get that reaction all the time. But my stepdad, I found out my stepdad was dying, and about 6 years ago, I guess. And I knew that my mom would be alone, and it really scared me because she was going to be alone for the first time in her life, and that kind of fear kept me up at night. I mean, that's the kind of fear that keeps you up at night, and that anxiety. And I wrote the scripts kind of as therapy, telling myself my mom would be all right. So the script is, nobody would ever be able to tell from watching the movie that it's about my stepdad's death, but it is. Emotionally, it's about coming to terms with the fact that my mom's going to be alone, and that maybe that's okay, and maybe she'll come out the other side better, and she has, and